Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. For everyone who's keeping track of all the Chagim, tonight we begin Shmini Atzeret, the end of Sukkot, and then we'll begin tomorrow night with Simchat Torah, the real end of this holiday season, this marathon holiday season. As a reminder, since it's Friday night, for any of you who might be joining us via live stream, you're welcome to actually come into Zoom and have kind of a more intimate experience with us. For those of you who are already on Zoom, we love getting to see your faces, and from our living rooms to yours, we love getting to share Shabbat with you. We'll begin now with Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. If you have a Siddur Lev Shalem, we're on page 27.
And if you're wondering why we're doing this, which we normally don't, because it's a Chag, we have a truncated Kabbalat Shabbat, so we actually just do this. Mizmor, Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat, 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 Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Mizmor, Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Mizmor, Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat. The whole world is waiting for Shabbat. Mizmor, Mizmor Shir, Shir Liyom HaShabbat. So just like that, we rise for Baruch Hu, page 39a. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch
You may be seated. Blessed are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night, the alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
Baruch Adonai Hamarivaravim. So we're on page 40 for Ahavat Olam. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot hukimu mishpatim otanu limadeta Aken Adonai Eloheinu v'shovbenu uvkumenu Nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uvemitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nehegeh yomam v'layla ve'ahavatecha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la la
We'll continue our service with the Shema. Hopefully, we'll be able to take a deep breath, kind of exhale the week and inhale the end of our holiday season. We're on page 41, Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam V'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha. We continue silently, top of the page on 42. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. We're going to continue with Mi Chamocha. I think it's on page 44. And Rabbi Golko, I just usurped you. I'm sorry about that. So you all know, sing along. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot, Osei Feleh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot, osei feleh.
What makes you feel safe? I want to know from the people who have joined us by Zoom, you can unmute yourself or raise your hand if you'd like to let me know you have an answer you want to share. What makes you feel safe? When you're in a position of vulnerability and you're looking for comfort and safety, what do you turn to? What do you think? What makes you feel safe? Raise your hand if you have something to share. Clarissa. Oh, sorry, wait, I just muted you while you unmuted yourself. Try one more time.
Well, I don't know if anyone else likes this, but whenever I'm upset, it's always nice to get like a big sweatshirt.
That's a great answer. Yeah, something that just feels like cozy and comfortable and warm and soft, right? I love that. I like that too. Okay, so when you feel uncomfortable, when you are kind of feeling vulnerable, you need some safety, you want to put on a big comfy sweatshirt. I love it. What else? What makes you feel safe, Ruth?
I always feel safe in my house. That's a piece of the planet. It's my sanctuary. That always makes me feel safe.
Okay, your house. You feel like it's yours. Right? No matter what's going on in the outside world, you know what's going on in your house, and you can always feel safe in your own house. Beautiful. What else? Zisel, what makes you feel safe?
Well, when I am in familiar surroundings, it could be my neighborhood, my home, the synagogue, places that I know outside of the ones I mentioned. Wherever is a known place, I feel safe. When it's unknown, it's a different story.
Right. Okay, I love that. So a place that feels familiar to you, that you know, a place where you're not you don't need to keep checking the map. You know where you're going, you know where everything is, you have your bearings.
Yes.
Okay, Joanne.
My bed.
Your bed, yeah, that's great. Who doesn't feel safe in their bed? You can kind of pull the covers up. It's similar to the sweatshirt, right? You can feel warm and cozy, but you have a little control, right? It's your bed. Love it. So when we sing Hashkivenu, which we're going to next, we're asking for God's protection. We're saying, shelter us in the shadow of your wings, watch over us, deliver us, watch over our coming and going. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Sukkot shlomecha, your canopy of peace. And that Sukkot, that's the same word as sukkah. That's the sukkah that we build during the holiday of Sukkot, which is meant to be a symbol of protection and peace, which I've always found odd, right? It's sort of an odd, think about what you all said, a sweatshirt or your bed or your house or a place that's known and familiar. The sukkah is an odd symbol for protection and safety given how fragile of a structure it is. The very definition of a sukkah is that it's a temporary structure built with somewhat flimsy materials. If you've made your sukkah too sturdy, it's actually no longer a kosher sukkah. So how could that flimsy, fragile structure be a symbol of God's protection rather than curling up in your bed in a comfy sweatshirt, being in your house, being in a known place? How could it be a sukkah? And the answer is that peace actually requires vulnerability. We have to recognize that we're not always in control. We might be in control when we're in our own house or in our own bed, but we're not always in control outside of that. And we all have flaws. And when we try to hide our flaws and just pretend that everything's perfect and that we're perfect, we actually get farther away from peace and safety. Peace and safety come from allowing ourselves to be vulnerable with others so that we can develop trusting relationships. Right? Think about this. We show our vulnerability to somebody, then they feel comfortable to show us their vulnerability. And that's how we end up building a safe support system around us that we can really trust. We can trust it because we've tried to shake it with our vulnerability, and yet it's still there for us. So it's not solid concrete buildings that we call our Sukkot Shlomecha, our canopy of peace, our symbol of safety. It's a sukkah, our temporary huts made of flimsy materials that could fall apart easily with just a strong wind. As we end Sukkot this year, may we all take to heart its message of the power of vulnerability and need for vulnerability. We'll continue now with Hashkivenu, that prayer asking for a Sukkot Shlomecha on page 45.
Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Sing it with me. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu L'Shalom, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu L'Shalom, shelter us in place, Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Let's join for Vishamru, page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vayidaber Moshe modei Adonai el bnei Yisrael. We're on Hatzi Kaddish, which is at the bottom of page 46. If you don't know this melody, you will by the time we're done. Just join me in the nigun and just sing out. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Yitkada ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'alema divrach hirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'b'yamechon u'b'chayedecho beit Yisrael b'hagala u'b'zman karim ve'imeru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalo shemei dekudesha
We'll turn all the way ahead now to page 306 because we're doing the festival Amidah since it's Shmini Atzeret. So we'll invite you to rise and take some time for the Amidah. Don't forget to include the insertions both for Shabbat and for Shmini Atzeret. But before you do, we'll begin together with the first 6 words aloud.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Ose shalom, ose shalom, ose shalom bimromav, ose shalom, ose shalom. Ose shalom bimromav, huya ose shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav.
We'll continue now with a prayer for healing because we know that so many people are in need of healing. People joining us by Zoom and by live stream, and people that we all love and care about. If you could use a little bit of healing, whether it's spiritual healing or physical healing or emotional healing, or if you know someone who needs some healing, we're thinking of you now as we join together in Rifa'enu.
Rifa'enu Adonai v'nei rafei. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shechinahu, restores our loved ones, heal our people speedily in our day. And let us say, Amen.
We rise for Aleinu, page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפל זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד, אין עוד. אוקיי, נקווה לך. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
This week, we are lovingly remembering the following congregants on the occasion of their yahrzeits: Saul Bloom, Francis Licker, Morris Orkin, Beatrice Powell, Bertha Pulvermacher, Hilda Rosen, Cindy Tannenbaum, Helen Deutscher, Eugene Feenberg, Harry Hersko, Alvin Litzman, Edith Licker, Victor Lissell, Jacqueline Milevsky, Bay Beckhoff, Ruth Blum, Mabel Clark, Samuel Cohen, Phyllis Ellis, Isidore Kadushin, Julius Leeds, Sydney Miskey, Hyman Modell, Stephen Ross, Jack Rubin, Bernice Stein, Yetta Yerman, Jerome Zimmerman, Irving Fogelman, Misha Klepova, Alice Ross, Michael Braverman, Leon Frieden, Geraldine Levy, Evelyn Overton, Mo Holland, Barbara Levin, Adele Rosenfeld, Hank Grossman, Ray Guthartz, Gladys Iser, Sylvia Klein, Louise Leto, Lilia Marks, and Marilyn White. We're also mindful of the recent passing of Margaret Romano, mother of Alex Romano, and we're all thinking of Alex and Linda and the entire Romano family. For anyone who is observing a yahrzeit or is in a period of mourning, for anyone who has need or desire to recite Mourner's Kaddish, we're on page 58 and you can rise and while muted, join with us. Yitgadal v'yitkadash
me'rabah
be'almad
Yamad divrach
lich malchuteh b'chayichon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We have a couple of announcements for you this evening. So tomorrow morning, of course, please join us for our virtual Shabbat and Shmini Atzeret morning service, the usual time, 10:30. Yisker is going to be around noon, so you can plan for that and just make sure to have your lunch ready before the service so that we can enjoy a virtual Kiddush lunch together right after Yisker. So it'll be about a half hour later than usual. We are happy to start Simchat Torah tomorrow night. So 5:30, we're going to have a bim bam service for the youngest kids and their families. And then at 7 o'clock, we will have a fun-filled Simchat Torah service and Lego competition. So you can join us either via live stream or Zoom. And we're really encouraging families and kids to join us. The youngest at 5:30, but everyone else come at 7 o'clock, and you can find on our website the list of 7 Torah scenes that we've asked you to build in advance, either out of Legos or clay or a drawing, whatever you have at home, and there will be prizes, so it's going to get competitive. Sunday morning, you can tune in at 10:30 for our virtual Simchat Torah morning service. And that's also going to be by Zoom, so live stream or Zoom at that time as well. Next Shabbat, we're thrilled to celebrate the bar mitzvah of Oren Sumek during our Shabbat morning service at 10:30. Don't forget, of course, to bring in your Sova food donations. This Sunday is the last day that you can drop them off in our parking lot. We are calling all cooks. The deadline to submit a recipe for our quarantine cuisine cookbook has been extended. For details and to send your recipe, go to templealiyah.org/cookbook. Sales from the book will be a fundraiser. Most of all, we want you to remember that we are here for you. Our office may be closed right now, but our staff and our clergy are still working really hard for you. Feel free to get in touch with us by email. That's the best way right now. And you can find all of our email addresses on our website if you're in need of any assistance during this challenging time. We wish you a Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. And with that, Chazan Mimi, I think, is going to share her screen to share with us the song Turn, Turn, Turn for the season.
Be good. Okay, so you know, if you look at it, the text is based on Ecclesiastes, which tomorrow, if you come and watch, Michelle Hoyst will beautifully chant Kohelet, which is the Hebrew name for Ecclesiastes. And just one last plug, please join us, in the Zoom room for Simchat Torah. It's really not as fun if you're not there. So please be there and join with me. this song by Pete Seeger, made famous by the Byrds. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And daytime to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. Sing it out, everybody. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. Harmonize, guys. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Chazan Mimi.
All right, Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat
Shabbat.
Shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai. Chag Sameach, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai. Shir, 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 Chag Sameach, lai, la, la, lai, la, la, lai. Shir, 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 Chag Sameach, lai, la, la, lai, la, la. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.